Okay. 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 Oops. Ah. Okay, it's good to see everyone again. Last Saturday we had a break because we had our annual Medicine Buddha prayer service. So for today, before we continue with what we have discussed and what we're going to learn, let us start with a short silent meditation. So please make sure that you're sitting upright. Can remove your glasses if you have one. Let's relax our physical body. We can gently close our eyes. Let us rest our hands, making meditation mudra, resting on our laps. Try to take in a few deep breaths as we relax our body and focus our mind. Let us give ourselves a moment to put aside whatever that we haven't finished. And let us just focus and gather our thoughts and be aware of every breath that we take. And we're going to meditate for a while. Now let us slowly take in a few deep breaths. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in again, breathing out. Let's slowly open our eyes, gently rub our palms together. Cover our palms on our eyes, top of our head, over our ears, the back of our neck. Let's rub our palms together again. Gently massage our shoulders, arms, all the way to our fingers and wrists. Okay, you may put back your glasses if you have one. Okay, so before we continue with our discussion today, let us have a quick recap of what we have discussed 2 weeks ago. We actually focus and learn about the importance of the practice of upholding precepts as well as meditative concentration. So we learned that both are equally important. Not only we can find peace and truth, and will not be moved by the 5 desires that we have, like wealth, passion, fame, slander, sufferings, and so on and so forth. Our mind will be filled with compassion and loving kindness. For today, we're going to look at another equally important factors in our practice is cultivating wisdom. So the title, I put the title of Dharma as a light. It is because we all know the Dharma here is referring to the Buddha's teachings. What is the Buddha's teachings? We all know that it is referring to the reality of life where the Buddha realized and discovered 2,600 years ago. So the Buddha shared with us his personal experiences in his practice, his path that he have chosen, and his discovery of the truth of life. So this is the Dharma. So when we learn about the Dharma, hopefully we will be able to see the light in our life. So that's the reason why in today's discussion and sharing, I put the title Dharma as a light. We all know that the Buddha, our teacher, sometimes when you read the article, you might come across knowing that the Buddha is also like the light, sharing with us all his practices and his insight. But now the Buddha, even though he's not physically here, but we continue to learn from the Buddha via learning the Dharma and also the precepts, and also we practice the meditative concentration as per introduced by the Buddha. Okay, so the Buddha shared with us the wisdom of life as if it gives us brightness so that we can see. So the Buddha, just like what I mentioned earlier, show us the path to enlightenment, to liberation from the cycle of rebirth, the suffering of life. And the Buddha said that whatever that he shared with us, not only we know, we learn, and we understand, but we have to practice it. We have to walk the walk, not just understanding the talk, understanding the teachings. Only then we'll be able to realize the wisdom or prajna that the Buddha shared with us. And the word prajna, sometimes you come across another word called prajna. So it is the same, it's just the distinction between Pali and Sanskrit. This word is referring to the transcendental wisdom, where it's not just learning from the book that we will have and cultivate prajna, but one of the main reasons why most of the time this word remains untranslated is because prajna is not only referring to information, knowledge that we commonly know, but it is more referring to the wisdom of life, the wisdom of the universe, the reality of life that goes beyond definition and go beyond relativity, going beyond duality that we are so used to. So prajna is a way that we learn how to distinguish what is wholesome, what is unwholesome. We learn what is the truth and learn what is the truth from falsehood. So this is how we gradually develop and cultivate prajna in life. Okay, so when we are ignorant about reality of life, we might have the tendencies to just follow our reaction to what we hear, what we see, what we sense, what we smell, what we taste, according to our preferences, according to our habitual reaction, our habitual tendencies. So we, in some ways, like the Buddha used the word ignorant, it is because we don't see, quote unquote, the light in life. We might not see the truth of life. So in Chinese, when we talk about the word ignorant, for those of you who knows Chinese, it is called wu ming, which means the Chinese word, another definition for ignorant is unable to see the light in life, unable to see the light of truth in life. So ignorance is one of the three poisons that the Buddha often brought up. When our mind is not clear, when our mind is deluded, we are ignorant about our action, our words, ignorant about the thoughts that we have, because the word ignorant is not just being really ignorant, but it is because we haven't really discovered the truth of life, the reality of life. So that's the reason why we're being misled by our ignorant perception, our ignorant thoughts. We thought that this is the truth, but it is not. So the more and more that we reflect the Dharma in our everyday life, we hope that through the reflection, through the contemplation, through having a deeper insight in the Dharma, hopefully we learn to see things over time, over experiences. And that is how we accumulate prajna. And prajna, wisdom, prajna is one of the threefold learning that I've mentioned it in the past two sessions that we have. So when we are, if we are ignorant about the reality of life, sometimes we just go with our habitual reaction of like greediness or hatred and not knowing the truth of life until we experience the effects of our decision that we made, until we experience the effects of the action, the words that we said. Only then we start panic. Like for example, not too long ago, there was a summit on climate change. It's like the, what do you call that? GOP 26. Yeah. So it's a forum that talks about and discuss about climate change, and hopefully that all the countries around the world can achieve a consensus to reduce and slow down the increase in the world temperature. So right now our Earth is having a small, slight fever. And if we continue to do whatever that we're doing with the rising of the carbon emission and so on and so forth, the whole world, the Earth that we lived in, will eventually develop from mild fever to fever. So, and whatever that we're experiencing right now is actually the effects of our action, like 5 years ago, 10 years ago, or even longer. So when we see the effects, only then we start to be aware of the causes that we have created in the past. Okay, so and because of that awareness in UK, now they are trying to reduce the coal plants that they have in UK. At first, the whole United Kingdom, they have like 14 coal plants. And because starting like 10 years ago, they try to raise awareness and try to reduce the usage of coal to generate power. So they have demolished, of course, they transition from this coal uh, plant to generate power to using hydrogen to generate more power as a renewable sustainable power for the whole country. So between 2012 until 2020, they have reduced the amount of like carbon emission by about 40%. And the last coal plant that they have demolished is from like the picture that I've showed you on the slides. Okay, and last year, the country went for 67 days without using any coal for power at all. They tried to use hydrogen as an alternative to generate power. So with these examples of climate change, um, we can reflect upon our action. Okay, so and because of these effects that we experience, we gradually try to contemplate and be more aware of all the carbon footprints that we have created starting from this very moment. Okay, so and not only that, it helps us reflect. This is just one example. Climate change is just one example in life that we are experiencing the effects. In our life, of course, that we try to be aware of the causes that we have cultivated and created. Not only wait until the effects that we experience, only then we start to panic, start to realize and look into the causes. But however, for us to be aware of the effects out of the decision, the causes that we have created is already a major first step for us to change, for us to be more aware. So it's not too late. It's never too late. As long as we're aware, as long as we are able to change. So this is another photo that I've seen, and I look at it and then found it very interesting. Is because during the whole summit, they try to bring the awareness of being mindful of the decision that we make, starting from the food that we take. If you look at this menu here, you will be able to see not only like what is on the menu, but you will be able to see the price. And towards the very right of the menu, you'll be able to see the number, the indicator of if we were to decide to have, like, for example, the barley broth, which is plant-based, the carbon footprints that we have created is 0.1. If any of us who are not vegetarian and you opt for a chicken sandwich, or even like what is it, smoked salmon or so, you look at the indicator to the right, is way higher than plant-based food. Okay, so this is very interesting, because we eat at least like 3 meals a day. So food itself is a major contributor to the whole climate change. To not only we can reduce the carbon footprints, but also we reduce the waste of water. We can reduce the number of trees that were being cut down. From this effect of climate change, we gradually widen our view and then taking steps forward to try to see the causes. We can make a change if we are willing. Okay, as long as we are aware of each action, each words, each decision that we make every single day, we can make a change. We can decide what will be that we ask ourselves, what is our recipe for change? When we experience the effects, how are we going to reflect upon the past experience and how this past experience can help us to make better decision in this present moment? How will we practice by this awareness of the effects, and how does this help us in changing our habits? How are we going to change our existing usual reaction to a certain situation? So what is the recipe for change? Okay, this is a question that we can think for ourselves. Okay, so in life, when everything goes well, we don't have problems, we don't have stress, we are like happy-go-lucky person, happy as always. But when the conditions, if they are not going as per plan, when the going is not going as what we want to, what we plan for, we might experience some emotional change. Okay, we might experience some physical changes, just like the picture that I've shared with you in this slides. But whatever that we experience every single day, whether it's ups and downs, whether it's smooth sailing, or it is a very challenging, wavy ocean that day. So whatever that we experience, okay, at every time, okay, every day, okay, how are we going to face it? How are we going to look at it in a very positive manner? Our ideas and principles is very important. It is because our right view of what we are experiencing will help us remain calm and focused in facing whatever situation that we are facing. Okay, and especially more challenging is when in our mind we think that we have done all the righteous deeds, all the wholesomeness in throughout the whole life in the past. I've done this so well, but still, some of us we might experience some injustice. We might experience hardship in life. If that is the case, how are we going to continue to stay in this path and not give up? How are we going to not lose faith in whatever that we're doing, which is wholesome, which is of justice? This is a question again for us to contemplate. Okay, what we can do, first of all, is we have to understand that there are circumstances externally that we cannot change, but whenever that we are experiencing hardship or challenging moments in our life, always remind ourselves the parable that the Buddha shared with us, that the life here in the Saha world is just like the muddy water that this lotus plant is growing from. It takes all the nutrients because of this hardship, because of the challenging moments that we have. It helps us to reflect for better. It helps us to contemplate on how what the Buddha mentioned about dependent origination. We can take this opportunity to really look deeply, and hopefully we are just like this lotus. We take the nutrient from this muddy water, and when the lotus grow and bloom, it remains pure, clean, not contaminated by the mud, and giving out fragrance. Just like in life, we all know there are three main aspects that sometimes are beyond our control. Like for example, biologically, whatever that happened in the past is in the past. But biologically, we are very fortunate. We are born as a human, but sometimes there are things that well we cannot change. Sometimes people are born with physical illness, there's immune function and so on and so forth, because of stress and medication effects and so on. And not only biologically, but psychologically, the society that we lived in. Sometimes, like just like when we walk outside on the street, I always wear my mask. Even though sometimes people might look at me in a very, unique way, but to me, I try to know that when I'm wearing mask, when I'm outside or even indoor, when we have volunteers coming in the temple or the devotees, when I wear mask, is not only to protect ourselves, but also we try to protect others, respect others. But psychologically, sometimes people, because of peer pressure, looking at others not wearing masks, sometimes we might be influenced by that decision not to wear a mask. Okay, so but of course, externally, we cannot change. We cannot walking on the street. We won't be able to change others, but we can be mindful of our action. Okay, and the social context, like the social support, family backgrounds, the culture that we are brought up, and the education that we are being provided, all these three main aspects. Okay, sometimes we can control it, sometimes we can manage it, but most of the time, there are things that we cannot really manage or control. But of course, we can influence and be mindful of the decision that we make. So looking at all these three aspects of things that we might not be able to change and reflect or even influence others to make a change. So how should we do? What should we do when things already happened in the past? It's already history. And how are we going to, what we are going to do, knowing that there are things that are beyond our control. Okay, so the answer to this question is actually what we're going to discuss today. It is through the contemplation of the Dharma, through the contemplation of the core teachings of the Buddha. Okay, so you might be thinking the core teaching of the Buddha talks about dependent origination, the Buddha talks about impermanence of life, the Buddha talks about non-self. The Buddha shared with us the Noble Eightfold Path as one of our key practices in our everyday life in cultivating wholesomeness. Okay, but sometimes we might have the question of, well, okay, I know everything is in a book. Everything is in the reality of life. But sometimes we're still not yet there, not yet really realizing that this is part of the Dharma. This is part of life that we can contemplate dependent origination. Like just like at the beginning of the class, I was like sharing, I was like experiencing some technical challenges where I log in the Zoom meeting like half an hour before the start of class. I just want to make sure everything is going okay. I tried out before that, but 10 minutes before the start of class, my Zoom actually stopped working and the video stopped working and the computer is not responding. And I was like panic. To be honest, I was panic. And then I tried to click to close the Zoom meeting, but it was not responding. I have to do a Control-Delete to end task. And then with everything all restarted and managed to go back into this Zoom meeting here today, it really makes me realize that the importance of all the right causes and conditions. This is what the Buddha mentioned about dependent origination. If one of the causes and conditions are not there, I won't be able to share the Dharma here as for now, right now. It is because of the computer is working okay, touch wood. My video camera is working and my PowerPoint slides is working. The Zoom meeting is okay. Then every one of you are here, logged in. And of course, you need all the right causes and conditions from your end to attend this class. Okay, so this is the Dharma that we are living in. Even if one day next Saturday, or we don't want that, but if things are not going as our plan, then we learn how to modify, we learn how to change, we learn to find plan B, try to solve this problem. Okay, so Dharma, where is the Dharma? So let me share with you a story here. It was a chance story between this disciples holding some firewoods in his hand, and he learned and practiced from this Chan master for so many years. And then one day, this disciples approached the Chan master and told him that I will now travel other places to learn and study the Dharma. And the Chan master said that, well, the Dharma is right here. Where else would you like to go and learn? And the disciples replied, I've been here for dozens of years now, and I haven't heard you give me any instruction in the Dharma. How can the Dharma be here? And the Chan master said that, how could you lie like that? How could you lie like that? What do you mean by there's no Dharma here? When you bring tea, the Chan master said, when you bring tea every day, I receive it from you and drink it. And when you bring food from me, I receive it and I eat it. When you join your palms together and bow, and I noted my head in response. In every one of these instances, I am teaching you the Dharma. How could the Dharma not be here? These are all Dharmas. This is all prajna of everyday life. And then these disciples then replied, oh, that's Dharma, that's prajna. Let me think about it. And the Chan master replied, you cannot think about it. You have to experience it. That is the reason why it is called prajna. This is what we call the Dharma. So the Dharma is actually right here. The Dharma is here waiting for us to reflect, waiting for us to contemplate, waiting for us to discover and have an insight in whatever that we experience. Okay, whether it is the understanding of emptiness, understanding of non-self, understanding of impermanence. It is one, no matter whatever that happened in our everyday life, whether it is smooth sailing or it is challenging, difficult, whatever experiences that we experience, it is part of our life. It is one good opportunity for us to reflect the Dharma that the Buddha shared with us. Okay, so in the Medicine Buddha Sutra, okay, we might come across a paragraph that says, if there are any sentient beings who are tormented by illness, who have no hope of release or respite from their suffering, who are without doctors or medicine, or who have no family members or other caregivers to assist them, who are homeless or how do you pronounce this word? Anyone?
Impoverished.
Oh, thank you. Impoverished, or are suffering in a vow that once the sound of my name is referring to Medicine Buddha has penetrated their ears, all illness shall cease, and they shall find serene contentment in body and mind. So when we learn the Dharma, when we read this paragraph here, sometimes we might be wondering, the medicine Buddha had such a great vow. Just by hearing and listening to the name of medicine Buddha's name, one will find serene contentment in body and mind. How is it? We might have the question of like, how is it possible? Okay. When I first recited the sutra, I have the same question that you have. Okay. So one of the easiest way for us to learn and understand is like, just imagine when there's a baby walking on the try to walk on the walk from one place to another, and a baby suddenly accidentally fell down and started crying. So the baby, the first reaction will be crying for either mommy or daddy. Okay, it is because a baby is trying to find comfort to soothe the pain because he fell down. The same goes to ourselves. In our life, sometimes like the experiences, like the examples I shared with you earlier, it is easy for us to say when there's ups and downs in life, we try to contemplate the Dharma, we try to reflect upon what the Buddha mentioned about the core teachings like dependent origination and non-self. But if things really happen, not only we contemplate on the Dharma, but we still need family support. We still need the support from our friends, our loved ones. And not only that, as a practitioners or as a Buddhist, faith plays a very important role. It is through faith that we find strength in whatever that we're experiencing. So that's the reason why all the Buddhas, whether it is Medicine Buddha, Amitabha Buddha, even Guanyin Bodhisattvas or Avalokitesvara Bodhisattvas, they all have these great vows. Not only we have to do our part in practicing the Dharma, but on that journey, if we need support, if we need help, the Buddha, our teacher, Bodhisattva, our mentor, will always be there to give us support. So when we recite the Buddha's name, we can feel the great compassion from the Buddha. We can feel the strength from the Buddha. It is because these are all the invincible spiritual support that we can get, we hope to receive from our teachers, who is always there, willing to lend us a hand. And not only Medicine Buddha that has this great vow, Amitabha Buddha has this great vows, but I strongly believe that there are many of us, whether you're Buddhist or not, also have these great vows. Like for example, I usually quote these examples like the first responders, like the firemen, like the police officers, those heroes in the society. They are always willing to put their lives, their own lives, before others in making sure the safety to protect and serve those who are in need. To me, I look at them as if they are the bodhisattvas, the manifestation of bodhisattvas who are willing to help us stand up again when we fall down. The same goes to our family members. The same goes to our best friends. The same goes to anyone that we have faith in. Okay, so this is the greatness of the vows. So how are we going to understand that? Venerable Master Xing Yun have these great vows, not only in whatever that he is doing, But if you have the opportunity to visit Foguangshan temples, you will realize that in the shrine, not only we have the main Buddhas that we enshrine, but on the wall, you will find Bodhisattvas, you find images of Buddhas around the wall, around the shrine. Why did Venerable Master wants to have all of the shrines of Foguangshan temples to be depicted and to be constructed like that? It is because it is a reminder for ourselves that not only we have the Buddha nature within ourselves, every one of us has potential to realize full enlightenment, but also it is a reminder for ourselves that others, the people around us, are also the manifestation of bodhisattvas. Those people who might help us when we need support, or those people might challenge us in our life, those are also considered our bodhisattva that help us reflect upon the things that we need to be more mindful of. So the great vows of from the Buddha, bodhisattvas, but also from everyone around us is for us to learn, okay, for us to discover, and of course to find support. And most importantly, this is just a transitional stage before we realize full enlightenment. We have ups and downs in life. We have challenging moments in life. We need support. Not only we try to reflect upon the Dharma in everyday life, but because of the support, we are being grateful and appreciative of the support that we receive from those who are around us. Okay, it reminds us to have similar great vows to help others in return. Okay, so this is what Medicine Buddha Sutra mentioned as one of the great vows of Medicine Buddha. Whenever there's a need of help, we recite the Buddha's name, and we will find contentment, we will find serenity, tranquility in our mind. It is because of that. Okay. Not only that, when we practice the Dharma, offerings is one of the main practices in cultivating merits, in helping us in this practice. So in the Medicine Buddha Sutra, it also mentioned that as one of the practices for us to help us in this journey in accumulating prajna and wisdom is to not only upholding the 8 precepts, is not only try to offer the food and also candles, mainly lights. Why lights? It is because light is a representation of wisdom. Light is a simile of prajna, wisdom. So during the services, whether it is the Medicine Buddha prayer service, where we will offer 7 lights or even lights to not only to the Buddha, but also is a reminder for ourselves when we offer this light. We also make vows in front of the Buddha to strive our best in cultivating wisdom, cultivating meditative concentration, and in upholding precepts, so that we can find the light within ourselves to see the truth of life, to see the Dharma in life. Okay, so this is a picture of just last week's Medicine Buddha's prayer service, where you will see like we have offered all different lights in front of the Buddha, and also we have names of the patrons to offer to support this Dharma services, but also like true offerings of light. Again, not only we do the physical light, But most importantly is when we offer this light, we try to offer the light, the inner light within our mind. We try to have this light of wisdom, okay, and not just praying, but we try to remove the three poisons in our everyday life by reflecting upon the Buddha's teachings. So as a conclusions from my sharing today is the more that we understand the Dharma, the more we can accept the reality of life. We strive in creating and cherishing the causes and conditions which we can manage. Meanwhile, we embrace those that are beyond, sorry for the typo, beyond our control. When we see the Dharma, we see the light of life. So that is the end of my sharing. So now is a Q&A. Let me stop sharing. So I'm not sure if anyone has any comments, questions.
Yes, Venerable, we have multiple comments and questions. If you like, I can read them. We have, is that okay to read you them in order? Or would you like to see them yourself? At 2:38 is when the first one came in.
Okay, you can help me read it out. Thank you.
Thank you. From Denny, he states, Dharma, a life well lived or poorly lived or somewhere in between. But I'm hearing that we must get beyond our ignorance to realize our mistakes, the consequences of our actions, etc. But we must have this realization within ourselves, correct? We're not going to get there by reading a book about Buddhism.
Yeah. Thank you for this question and giving me this opportunity to clarify what I mentioned. Is not like before, there's no sequence in terms of like what comes first, what's next, but it is our learning process. I would say that this is trial and error. We learn from the Buddha, and then we try to reflect upon our everyday life, and also we learn from our past experiences. Everything adds on in helping us to see better what we are experiencing in our everyday life. We are not perfect, including myself. I'm still trying and learning. And of course, I have to start from learning from the book first, learning from the Sutra. Yeah. And when I learn from the Sutra, whatever that I experiences or face any situation, if I'm mindful enough, if I'm fully aware, then I will be aware enough in contemplating the Dharma, contemplating the Buddha's teachings, and pass on my habitual tendency, my habitual reaction. Only then I can improve, make better decision, and accumulate this wisdom over this experience. Okay, it takes time for us to try and reflect, and if this experience, this effect that we already experienced, this effect of the decision that we made earlier, we try to think about it, we try to learn from it. Only then, if the next situation that is similar and we're more aware this time, then we apply what we learned from the Buddha, and we try to make better decision this time. So this is the learning curve. The same goes to the Buddha. The Buddha is not like realizing and enlightened just within one lifetime. He had experienced kalpas, a long time, life after life after life, continuous learning and reflecting and contemplating. Only then we have the Buddha that we know. Yeah. So I hope that answered your question.
Thank you, Venerable. The next.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Danny.
The next question is by Melissa. She said, who is the white Buddha? And Denny started the conversation by replying, the white Buddha symbolizes learning and knowledge, Buddha Vairocana or Vairocana.
Yeah, it's one of the previous Buddhas. Yeah, we have the past, we have 7 past Buddhas, but the one that we can still remember is Shakyamuni Buddha. Yeah, and usually the distinction of the color is more of Tibetan Buddhism way of recognizing which color, which Buddha. Yeah, I hope that helps. Okay.
The next one are some thoughts by Aina. She really liked the way that you were explaining and not limiting the karma to just as illness, as negative karma, for example, since that is often, and to her thought, too simplistic. And then it made her think about her husband, who had a serious and eventually fatal heart attack condition. He explained the pain and suffering, but saw it as a gift that caused him to develop even greater compassion for others. People often commented on his contented smile. She had a comment on that. Beautiful thoughts.
Thank you.
The next is a question by Saiba. Saiba asks, when we are experiencing suffering because of circumstances beyond our control, when should we fight back and when should we let go? Any suggestions on how we can develop this wisdom? Thank you, Venerable.
Yeah, this is a very good question. Is because it takes us some time for us to really accept whatever that we're experiencing, especially the difficult ones, especially the challenging ones. Not easy. Yeah, but we will need to true experiences, which learn from one experience and the next. But when should we fight back and when should we let go? If we have already tried our best and we know that this is the best, okay, then things are still going as per what others plan, then we need to adapt. We need to let go. We need to embrace that. And then we have to change our mindset, knowing that we have tried our best, but whatever the outcomes that is still ongoing and still happening, we need to change our view in how to handle the situation. But then this whole process is not easy because we have to embrace it. We have to first change our ideas, our principles, and how we view this situation that we're in. Okay, but no matter what, we try to go back to the Dharma. We try to contemplate on what the Buddha shared with us, dependent origination. There's always a reason to what we are experiencing. Okay, there's causes and condition. And of course, based on the causes, sometimes the causes are the ones that we have created, but sometimes it's not from us. If the causes is not created from us, we cannot change it. We have no management. We cannot control it. Okay? But when the condition is there, things just happen, pop up. But again, we need to examine what is the best decision, what is the best reaction that best moment for us to let go, and when will be the best situation for us to react. Because I won't have any suggestion, or I won't have any solution to your question, but my recommendation is, for myself, I always try to go back to the Dharma, try to remind myself of what the Buddha has shared in terms of impermanence, dependent origination. Only that we will try to contemplate and make full use of this experience, the situation that we are in. If we just react emotionally, I would say that this is a waste of opportunity. Even though it's not easy, to be honest, it's not easy. But no matter what, we just try to remind ourselves and contemplate deeper in the Dharma. Yeah. Okay.
And we have one final comment left in the box, and that is from Kidso. I'm lucky that my husband used to be a Berkeley police officer, doctor now. However, when I started martial arts, my goal was self-defense, but now I like the spiritual strength. It gives me more than physical strength.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. I know like I don't have answers to all your questions, but if any one of you have any comments to any questions, you want to give feedbacks, you will most welcome to unmute yourself and say it. And so that's the reason why even though to many of you, you might think that this is a class, to me, I look at it as what do you call that? A communal cultivation. It is because when we learn the Dharma, we listen and we contemplate, we think about it, and how it helps us in our everyday life. And how is it related to the sutra, and how the sutra is related to the core teachings, and how the core teachings can help us in our everyday life. Okay. So today I have a special prayer for everyone. Is a prayer to Medicine Buddha. Okay, so let me share. Oops. Okay, I'm still learning how to control this. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So let us join arms. A prayer to Medicine Buddha by the Venerable Masters. O great, compassionate Medicine Buddha, please listen to my report. There's really too much suffering in the world these days. The crimes of arson, murder, and theft, the cruel oppression of corrupt officials, the turbulence of politics and the economy, and natural disasters of earth, water, fire, and wind. These things often cause people to lose everything they own in the blink of an eye. The suffering of being bedridden with a lingering illness resulting from an imbalance of the four great elements. Even heroes mourn in pain and have difficulty being at ease. The sea of karma that is full of passions and delusions, resulting from greed, anger, and ignorance, rolls unceasingly like roaring waves and billows. O great, compassionate Medicine Buddha, if we do not depend on you now, how can we escape the sea of suffering? If we do not rely on you now, how can we subdue our defilements and resentments? Today, I sincerely chant your name and pay respect to your image, not only to ask you to bless me, but in the hope that all beings will obtain your great protection, to live and work in peace and contentment, and in happiness and harmony. O great, compassionate Buddha, we understand completely that in this world of impurity, all natural disasters and many calamities are caused by collective karma, that on this impure mundane earth, physical and mental suffering is caused by the passion and illusions of life. If we want to truly eliminate calamities and disasters, we must first eliminate the karma of our own wrongdoings. If we want to establish the pure land of the East, we must first purify our bodies, Therefore, I would like to pray to you, Medicine Buddha. Eliminate our greed and anger. Eliminate our ignorance and struggles. We willingly transfer all our good merits to all beings in the universe. May everyone live freely, and may everything turn out as he or she wishes. Furthermore, great compassionate medicine Buddha, I pray to you to bestow your great power upon us for protection. I will undertake the following your original vows. First of all, may all beings be equal and at peace. Second vow, may all undertakings benefit the masses. Third vow, may panic and terror be kept far away. Fourth vow, may all sentient beings calmly uphold the body. The fifth vow, may man-made calamities and natural disasters disappear completely. Sixth vow, may all physically challenged be rehabilitated. Seventh vow, may all beings suffering from disease return to health. Eighth vow, may all human relations foster mutual understanding and harmony. Ninth vow, may all beings wrong beings turn over and new beings. Tenth vow, may all prisoners suffering unjustly come to know justice. 11th vow, may all of the society live in affluence. 12th vows, may all beings be tolerant and respectful. O great compassionate medicine Buddha, we make offerings to you with our pure deeds of body, speech, and mind. We take you as our model with our zealous progress in the study of morality, meditative concentration, and wisdom. I pray that you give the great compassion, the respect, and inspiring virtues all over the Dharma realms to fulfill our wishes, that our human world also establish the pure land of the East. O great compassionate medicine Buddha, please accept our sincere prayer. So I hope that everyone had a good week, and I will see everyone next week. We are going to continue to look at, let me see, the practice of equanimity and compassion. That will be next week. Okay. Any last comments before we go?
Venerable.
I'm Marisa.
Thank you, Shifu.
Thank you.
Amigo.
Thank you, Venerable.
Thank you. Bye,
Venerable.
everybody.
Thank you,
From
Reverend.
Texas,
Bye.